Hey besties, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time it is for you right now, I'm just really glad that you're here. This is actually my very first podcast episode, and it's so scary saying it out loud, but at the same time, it's so exciting. I've been thinking about doing this for a very long time now, and I'm finally sitting here recording this. I cannot believe it, guys. I am so excited and nervous, but here we go. And honestly, this right here is a risk. Putting my voice out there, sharing my thoughts, not knowing who's going to listen to it, not knowing how people will actually think about it, and how this will turn out eventually is a risk in itself. But I'm doing it anyway. It's too late to turn back now. I am into this with my full chest. And this today is what the episode is going to be about. We're going to be talking about taking risks in your 20s. But before we get into the video, allow me to introduce myself a little bit to you guys. Those that have seen me before on my other platforms, for example, my TikTok, maybe my Instagram. My name is Shakira. I'm from Uganda. And I decided to start a podcast that we will be naming Shaki Unfiltered Podcast. So, guys, allow me to officially welcome you to the Shaki Unfiltered Podcast, where we're going to be having real conversations, no filters, no judgment, a place for all of us that have these conversations that we be thinking out, but we cannot say them out loud because maybe we are so afraid, maybe we are so scared. So, this is going to be the place where we have those kind of conversations. So sometimes I'm going to be seated here talking to you guys just like this by myself. And sometimes I'm going to be having people that are going to be joining me so that we can have different perspectives, different views, because I believe that we can learn from each other. I mean, nobody is perfect. So that is why this space is created for all of us to be at home, to feel warm and feel like we're being talked to. I'm not starting this podcast because I think that I'm perfect. No, I think that there is a lot that we can learn from each other. I can learn a lot from you guys, and you can also learn something from me and also the people that I'm going to be bringing on the podcast. So, guys, stay tuned and always make sure to sign in or clock in whenever an episode pops up on your feed. So we're going to be making videos every single Saturday of the week. That's when we're going to be uploading the videos every single Saturday of the week. So please, I hope that we all stay updated. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you're the first person to know every single time that I post a video. Anyways, like I said, today's topic is going to be about risk taking in your early 20s. One of the biggest lies we've been told is that we are running out of time. They make it seem like there's an invisible timeline that says by a certain age, you must have all your life figured out. By a certain age, you must have a stable career. You must know who you are. But I keep on asking myself, like, honestly, who created that timeline? Because the last time I checked, most of us don't even know what we're doing. We just clocked our 20s and we barely know what we're doing. Our 20s don't have to be perfect. Our 20s are messy. They are confusing. They are full of emotions, full of doubt, full of change, and also growth. And instead of seeing that as something wrong, I think we should start seeing it as something that is powerful. Because honestly, I think this is the only phase of your life where you're allowed to try out new things, fail, try again, change your mind, and just keep on figuring out everything as the day goes by. And when you fail, the world does not come to an end. Because let's be honest, there are days in our lives where you wake up and feel like this is going to be the day that I get to change my life. You drink your water, you be like, I'm going to begin working out. You set all these goals for your life. Like that particular day, you even make your vision board. You're like, today I am changing my life. But by around 2 p.m., you just go back to normal. Like you sit back on the couch and just maybe take a nap and you forget about everything that you've been working on since the day started. And one thing that I'm going to tell you is that is very normal. That is part of the process. Growth is not always pretty, it's not always consistent. Sometimes it looks like trying and failing and trying again, never giving up. That's what growth is all about. So now let's really get into it. Why is it important for you to take risks in your 20s? Because this is the only time that you have to figure out things. You've seen so many videos of people who are in their 30s and their 40s saying things like, if I was in my 20s, if I was in my 20s. So it's clear in your 20s, that's the only time that you have to figure out your life. The moment that you clock in your 20s, most especially at the age of 25, you're now on pressure to make things perfect. You feel like time is running out. You have all these things that you want to achieve in a few minutes. And I understand because that is what we have been accustomed to. It's important to take risks in your 20s because it's the only time that you have space to figure out yourself. You don't have to be perfect about it. You don't have to get everything right the first time that you try anything out. But what you need to do is try. Because if you do not take risks now, you may spend years of your life wondering, even regretting. You'll be asking yourselves questions like, what if I had gone for it? And that what if feeling stays with you. That regret stays with you every single time you will be reminded of what you missed out. So, talking about risks, real life risks, let's begin with your career. Maybe you're in a job right now that looks good on paper, but not in real life. It pays your bills, it makes sense to other people, it feels safe, but deep down you feel like it's not it. That is not what you want to do. You wake up tired, you feel unfulfilled, and you keep on telling yourself maybe it's gonna get better with time. But deep down in your heart, you know for a fact that this is not going to get better. So, taking a risk here would be you applying to other jobs that you may even feel like you're underqualified. You're not qualified for this position, but putting in your application is a risk in itself. After all, there's nothing for you to lose, it's just an application. Taking a risk in this circumstance can also be by you starting up something on the side, a small business. Maybe, let's say in Uganda, for example, maybe you could start maybe charcoal business on the side, maybe crafts, maybe clothing, anything on the side, just so you could, put your mind at ease and maybe something that you love to do. And yeah, I know this is scary because you'll be thinking, oh, what if this doesn't work out? What if I fail? But let me ask you something. What if it works out? Let's talk about another kind of risk, and this is changing the environment. Sometimes growth requires you to leave what's familiar. It might be maybe moving to a different city, a different country, or just stepping out of your regular routine. Because most of us are built on a specific routine. You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, take your shower, have your breakfast, dress up, and go to work. What if you change your environment, change from that particular routine that you have and add in something little that will make it seem like, okay, now life has started making sense to me. Maybe adding some maybe morning walks. Maybe you've been in a place for a very, very long time. You were born and raised and studied in Kampala. You don't know what is outside of Kampala. Take a risk by trying to move out of Kampala. See the world away from what you are used to. There is a different feeling of going to a place where nobody knows you because now you can have the time to redefine yourself because no one knows you here. You can put yourself in whatever character that you want to. You have an opportunity to redefine you away from the person, the Shakira that was known in Kampala, to a completely different person. So yeah, moving to different places can also broaden your thinking, can also broaden your mind, and you see the world from different views away from what you are accustomed to. You can also take risks with relationships. Sometimes we stay in relationships not because they're right for us, but because we are familiar. You've been with this person for the last 8 years and you feel like you cannot imagine life without this person. All you know is this person, even though this person is clearly not the right person for you. But you're so afraid of starting over. You're so afraid of leaving. You have attachment issues and all of that, but you're just in your 20s. If you feel like the relationship is not working for you, take your risk, leave the relationship, start afresh. Begin by understanding who you are. Maybe there is a lot that you can discover about yourself after leaving this relationship. Walking away from something or someone that doesn't align with you anymore is a big risk. And it takes so much strength. The hardest thing isn't letting go, it's believing that you deserve better. It's so hard for somebody that has only known one single thing for all their eternity, for all their life, to believe that they deserve better. They will always believe that they cannot be loved, they cannot be cherished because of what they have been going through. But in your 20s, why are you putting yourself in this kind of situation? You are able to pick yourself up. You're still young, you still have the time. You have all the time in the world to choose what to be, who to be with. One of the things that is always hindering risk taking is fear. One thing for sure, where there is risk taking, there is always fear. Because you're not going to wake up one morning and you're 100% ready to take any risk. But let me tell you something. Most people that we all admire, the ones that you look at and be like, oh my goodness, I want to be like that person. They took risks. They also had all these fears. They were like, what if this doesn't work out? But they had to put the fear aside and take the risks. They were scared too, but they didn't let this fear stop them. So maybe instead of asking yourself if you're ready, you should be asking yourself if you are willing to do something. Overthinking can also be a very, very big problem because let's be honest, most of us are big time overthinkers. The worst part is most of the things that you're thinking about is just the negative part of it. Like you're thinking about how everything is going to go wrong. You prepare yourself for situations that haven't even happened yet. And by the time that you're done thinking, you're exhausted. You haven't even moved a foot. You're still in the same position. Overthinking keeps you stuck. It keeps you in a loop. You cannot move past that because you're going to be rotating around there over and over again. Whenever you want to leave that and try something, you just keep finding yourself in the same loop over and over again. So, overthinking is something that we should try to avoid when we want to take risks in life. Overthinking is not going to change your life. It's the actions, even if they're small actions, that is what is going to change your life. Now, this is something that is so deep. A lot of us are not actually living our lives. We're living expectations. You're always trying to please the family members. You want to please the society. You want to be validated. Once you spend your life trying to live somebody else's version of life, you will never be fulfilled. Now, I want you to actually pause for a second and ask yourself this question: what do I actually want? Not something that looks good for other people, not something that people will appreciate, not what's safe or what's expected of you, what you really, really want as an individual. Before we even finish this video, I want to talk about something that is also important, and that's failure. Failure is very important because we need to understand that no matter what we do in life, we might always face some failure. You might always make mistakes. You will try things that will not work out. But I want us to know that this is not the end of the world. Once you fail, get up and try again and again and again. Failure is only part of the journey, and every single time that you fail, you will learn lessons from it because you will not do the same mistake that led to the failure the previous time. You will know that this is where I went wrong and this is where I need to do better. And it prepares you for what's next. And when it comes to risks, you don't have to start big. Small risks can be maybe speaking up when you are usually quiet. Maybe something happened to you, but people expect you to be quiet as usual. Take the risk of speaking up and get maybe the help or the justice that you require. We've seen so many people here on the internet. Somebody has an issue and they come to the internet and they speak up. They ask for help or they ask for justice, and you see people coming out for these people that are total strangers. But if this person was silent and they didn't take the risk to come out here and speak because they're so afraid of what people will think of them, so who would be the one to help them? Small risks can also be trying something new. Those small risks or the small things can build your confidence. And now the confidence can lead to bigger decisions. When I finished my university and graduated, I was in this space where I didn't know what to do. Everything just seemed to be moving up and down. All the people that I went to school with seemed to be moving forward, and it seemed like I was the only person being left behind because my friends were going to LDC and I had no plan B. And I was like, what is going on? Why does everybody seem to be moving forward except me? So, anyway, I tried getting this job and I worked for at least 1 year and a half. It didn't work out. I quit the job, moved on. I came and sat here at home for some time trying to figure out what I need to do. I tried applying for jobs up and down, but obviously I wasn't qualified for most of them, but I still did apply. And a few of them would call me, I would go for the interviews, and they'll be like, you know what? Nah, you're not qualified for this. And I would be like, okay. But I kept on trying until I got tired and I was like, I need to think of something that I need to do to keep me active, to keep me going. So I started by selling clothes. You guys that have seen me on different platforms already know that. So I was selling clothes, and I remember I used to go to Motive Golovia every last Saturday of the month. I would go there in the market and sell my clothes. I was also doing crochet, and I was trying to make money in every way possible. And then finally, I came up with this idea of processing civil marriages for people. And I didn't actually know if people were going to buy this idea, but I was so amazed at how it people received it, and people started coming to me, even though I didn't have any work yet, but people still trusted me. They were like, "Can you please help me with this and this?" So if I had not taken the risk to come out there, I remember it was on a TikTok live, and I was talking about civil marriages, because to me I was just trying to pass out information on what required for the civil marriages. And then one lady actually messages me and she's like, "Shakira, can you help me process my marriage?" And I'm like, "Huh, okay, now that you say it, I think I can." So I meet up with her and we sit, and now she lays out everything. And from the research, from the information that I know, I knew exactly what to do. And she was my very, very first client. And from then, more people kept on coming, and they're still coming. And what I'm trying to say is, if I had not taken the risk, if I was like, okay, I've never done this before. What if I do it and it goes wrong? But in my head, I was just wanting to do it so that it works out for her, because I would be so happy knowing that I was part of her journey. So that helped me build so much confidence, because the Shakira that you met on her past civil marriage process with the Shakira right now, we are very, very different people. I am more confident right now in the work that I do, and it's simply because I took risks, even though I had never done it, even though it was my very first time. But there has to be a first time for everything. So, that being said, I just want to remind you something. In your 20s, you should stop thinking that you're behind, you're too late. I want you to understand that you're not failing at life. You are figuring out things, and it's okay to fail and keep doing it over and over again until you finally get it right. Do life at your own pace. No one should rush you, no one should give you expectations. Do them at your own pace, and trust me, you will do them right if you're doing them for yourself. Leave whatever is setting you back and try everything over and over again, even when you fail. In your 20s, you have so much time to figure out your life. So it's okay. Do not compare yourself with others, because comparison is a thief of happiness. The moment that you begin comparing yourself, "Oh, I wish my life was like so and so's life," you will never move forward. One thing that also steals joy from us is the internet. The internet is a good and bad place, because the moment that you log into your internet, your TikTok, your YouTube, your Instagram, you're going to see people in their 20s achieving big, big things, and you will feel like you're a failure. You are not a failure. Some of us are in our 20s, mid 20s, but we're still staying at our parents' houses. And there is nothing wrong with that. If you feel like you're not ready, do not put yourself on pressure because so and so is living like this. Everybody has their timing. So live your life at your own pace. Do not be on pressure because so and so is in their 20s and they keep on traveling left, right, and center. Don't be on pressure because so and so is in their 20s and they have a mansion to themselves. Live life at your own pace. And once you are very intentional about how you live your life, your time will surely come. And when your time comes, even the baskets will hold water for you. So let nobody tell you that you are out of time, or at this age you should be married, at 20 this you should have kids, at this you should have a house. No one set that timeline for anybody. Everyone should live their life at their own pace. If you're somebody that has achieved things earlier on in life, we are so happy for you. But do not put those expectations on everybody else. Let everyone live their lives. So, this being our very, very first episode of the podcast, I don't want to prolong the video because it will get boring. Yes, I'm just thankful that we are all here today and we've watched this video at the very end. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you for listening to me. And I hope this video is your sign for you to get up and take that risk. This is just the beginning of the podcast. There is more to come, there is more to be said, and I hope we will be in this together. Thank you so much for watching, and I love you all. Do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment on this video. Thank you for being part of the Shaki Unfiltered podcast.